Okay, so since this is a flatbed, I have access to the tank through where the gooseneck goes in. I will just disconnect the lines for the purposes of this video. I will actually drop down the tank also, but I'll disconnect these lines from here. Alright, press that little tab down and pull. Okay, to disconnect the fuel lines, I used the 5/16. I don't know what this is called, but it's basic. Okay, yes, it was a 5/16 coolant wrench, I guess. I don't know what it's called. Basically, you slide it in on the intake or outtake, and you're just trying to move this little white gasket basically out of the way, and they just slide out. They might be a little stuck because of the dirt, grime, whatever. Like this one, I had a little problem with it. But other than that, you should just slide this all the way till it butts up flush against this black plastic like that, and just pull on the hose. Simple as that. Okay, it's got 4 18mm bolts right here, and towards the differential, it's got 2 more. Where is it? Up here. There and there. It also has I guess the belts that strap on the gas tank, because this is just like a skid plate for the fuel tank. Okay. Wow. We're missing everything. Okay. It's supposed to have the pickup and the filters. They're probably all broken inside. I don't know. I'll find out. Alright, as you can see, that is the diesel that came out. Very dirty. From the tank, you can hear junk rattling inside the tank. Probably the pickup and the filters and everything just fell off. That's why I would run out of fuel at about a quarter of a tank too. Kind of like the 7.3. But, oh man, as you can tell, it's very, very bad in there. Alright, inside the tank, you can see parts over there from the pickup. And also the interior of these tanks had like a sprayed on paint. Kind of like a protective coating, I guess. I guess engineer said, hey, the truck's not going to last as long as... Oh, look at that. So it just falls off, basically. I need to put like a rhino liner inside, or I don't know what I can do, but it's definitely full of crud. Look at that, look at that. Oh man, that is not good. That clogs up the fuel line, filters. Good thing it has 2 filters, at least I thought about that. But still, I don't know where I'm gonna go from here. Let's see what happens. I am going to put 2 gallons of CLR. It's about 22 something, 22, 25 bucks. It's cheaper to get it by the gallon. And it's not till it comes out of there that I will stop putting water in it. See all the junk that came out. Okay, I left the tank with CLR well over a month. It was only supposed to be about a week, but things came around, I couldn't get to it, and it's been a good, This happened on the December the 8th. It is now January like the 15th or something like that. And I see that all the laminated stuff is actually peeled off. Look at all that. I'm very impressed at how it actually turned out. It's really clean. You could tell where, where the line was at. Get the difference in rust. Okay, now with all the CLR out, I'm going to rinse the tank. Alright. I'm just going to scratch the inside surface and remove any rust. That light rust doesn't really matter. The red coat should cover that. Alright. We're using this red coat. I'll put the link on. Take it by Amazon. So once we're done wrestling with this damn thing, I think it actually came out pretty good. Oh, there's too much there. Okay. Okay, it's been 3 days, I believe, since I did the red coat. It didn't come out as well as I wanted it to. I mean, it's not for looks for sure. I do think it covered or made a good coat. I just yanked that little piece out, which is this, because I believe it's not going to dry good enough if it's caked on. The reason being, these Ford tanks, as you could tell, there's, you know, a good 1.5 to 2 inches between this and the bottom of the tank. So even if you know, this stuff moves like molasses or, you know, syrup. So it's going to be tough for you to actually empty out the whole tank. You're going to have, you know, this part right here all the way across. I'd say it was a good, more than about a pint, maybe a pint of red coat plus this. Okay, it's been at least a month since I put that red coat. I don't know if you can tell by this piece that actually spilled. It's pretty, I'm sure it's cured already. So anyways, I need to get this truck back running. Put the sending unit back in. Now make sure that the part that we replaced doesn't bang with the bottom of the tank. I don't think that's a good idea. So I just basically installed it to where it butts up against, I guess there's a stopper there or whatever, and tighten the clamp down, because you could tell, I guess at one point, you know, it's supposed to touch down there. You can see the circle. And I'm just gonna give it a little bit of space so it doesn't get clogged, because I'm not. We'll see how much fuel, at what point it'll run out of fuel. Hopefully we don't. The blue one goes to the passenger side and just slip it on. There. You hear the little click. The black one goes to the driver's side. That's it. Just making sure and the sending unit clip. Look at all that crap. Okay, that came out of the fuel filter housing, which is on the chassis fuel filter housing, that right there. So I guess it had all that junk inside that little drain. Damn it. That was probably full of delamination from the tank itself. It was coming out brown for the longest time and basically just didn't stop till it comes out clear. Basically, it's once it comes out crystal clear, I mean, that's as clean as it's gonna get. The drain plug is very delicate. It only has like maybe 2 threads. I know I replaced it the last time I changed the fuel filter, which is full of delamination crap. You could kind of see where it's kind of corroded half of the bolt because of that. I believe it's a 6mm Allen wrench. Don't go too crazy with it because it's well, again, it's just two turns basically. That's it. And I'll just make sure it doesn't leak later on when I turn the truck on. Okay, now snap on the fuel lines again. The blue one goes to the bottom. There, and it just snaps in. Same for the top. That's it. And now these supply. Oh, the blue one with the darker gray goes in the bottom. There we go. Now some of these actually have like a little fork that latches onto the inside and then clips on over here. I don't know, for some reason my truck doesn't have them. I don't know if that's normal or whoever worked on it before just didn't put them back on. But honestly, I don't think it needs it. It's just a preventative type of deal to keep something from getting stuck inside and maybe loosening up the fuel lines. As we got the plug back up, 6mm, flushed it out with a carb cleaner. Let's put the fuel filter back up, pump it with fuel, and hopefully we have a running truck. Okay, now these Motorcraft fuel filters, I like them because they have that little notch right here that keeps them straight up. So it actually has this little purge hole that vents all the air out, so you get more of the surface area of the filter working to get the fuel filtered. Don't forget to put your gasket on. It's tighten up to 25 Newton meters, but I'm just gonna go till there's no gap right here, basically, and then I'll come back and check if there's any fuel leaks. Alright, the top filter has a bottom side and a top side. Just basically go in there. Boom. Make sure to replace that gasket on your cap. Fill it with diesel or lubricate it with diesel. Go from there. You hear the pump? We're gonna prime it about 3 or 4 times just to give it a chance to purge all that air out. You hear all the injectors. The sending unit's working. Okay. Let's try to crank it this time. Now it'll probably run rough because there's still air in the system. So I don't expect it to run smooth for a couple of miles. I'll run it, put new fuel on it. Hopefully I don't get any more problems with this damn truck.